Be me. 25-year-old working at tech company, dating Jessica for about 3 months. She's 24, works in marketing, super into astrology and spiritual stuff. You know the type, crystals everywhere, reads tarot cards. Things are going pretty well. Decent chemistry. Then she drops the timeline bomb. We're having dinner at some overpriced vegan place she picked. Anon, I need to tell you something important. Here we go. Probably wants to be exclusive or something. I've been getting signs from the universe about us. Oh boy, Jessica, what kind of signs? My psychic told me you're my soulmate. That's sweet, Jessica. I think you're pretty great too. But here's the thing. We're in the wrong timeline. Excuse me, what now? She pulls out her phone and starts showing me some TikTok about parallel universes. In our original timeline, we met in college and got married at 22. Jessica, we didn't go to the same college. That's because this timeline got messed up somehow. She's completely serious about this. Starts explaining how in the right timeline, I'm 6 feet tall instead of 5 feet 8 inches, and you have different colored eyes, like a really deep blue. My eyes are brown, Jessica. I know, that's how I can tell we're in the wrong reality. This is getting weird, but I'm trying to be supportive. So what does this mean for us? Well, we have to wait for the timelines to correct themselves. How long is that supposed to take? My psychic says it could be anywhere from 6 months to 6 years. What are we supposed to do until then? We can date casually, but we can't get too attached. Because once the timeline shifts, everything will change. Jessica, this sounds like you want to keep your options open. It's not about other options, Anon. It's about cosmic alignment. She starts showing me more TikToks about timeline jumping. Apparently there are signs to look for. Like when you have deja vu, that means timelines are merging. Or when you find money on the ground, that's a timeline gift. I found a quarter yesterday. Guess I'm rich in another universe. She doesn't appreciate my sarcasm. This is serious, Anon. Our souls are connected across dimensions. But we're stuck in this broken reality where everything is wrong. What exactly is wrong with this reality, Jessica? Well, for starters, in our real timeline, you're way more successful. Thanks for the confidence boost. And I'm already a famous influencer instead of working at this marketing job. Of course you are, Jessica. She pulls out a notebook where she's been documenting timeline inconsistencies, like how your apartment faces east instead of west, and how you drive a Honda instead of a BMW, and how your hair is darker than it should be. Jessica, have you considered that maybe I just have dark hair? No, Anon. I remember your real hair from our past life memories. This is getting concerning. She starts asking me if I remember things that never happened. Do you remember our first date at that Italian place on 5th Street? Jessica, our first date was at Starbucks. That's this timeline, Anon. I'm talking about our real first date. You brought me roses and we talked about philosophy until midnight. I brought you a coffee and we talked about Marvel movies. See, that's another sign in our real timeline you don't like superhero stuff. You're more into classical literature and art. Jessica, I literally have a Captain America poster in my room. That's this timeline corrupting your true personality. She's rewriting my entire identity to fit her fantasy. Tells me about all the ways I'm different in the real timeline. You're more romantic and spontaneous. You write poetry and play guitar. You have this mysterious aura that draws people to you. So basically, you want me to be a completely different person. Not different, Anon, your true self. This timeline has suppressed who you really are. She starts trying to help me remember things. Don't you recall how we used to walk on the beach at sunset? Jessica, we live in Ohio. What beach? The beach from our real timeline, Anon. We had a house right on the coast. You proposed to me there under the full moon. This is some serious delusion territory. She shows me her vision board with photos of beach houses. This is where we're supposed to be living. Once the timeline corrects itself, we'll remember everything. I try to bring her back to reality. Jessica, what if this is the only timeline and we're just regular people? She looks at me like I've blasphemed. Don't say that, Anon. You're letting this dimension's negativity affect you. The universe brought us together for a reason. The universe also brought me food poisoning last week, Jessica. She starts doing weird rituals to accelerate the timeline shift, burning sage in my apartment without asking. This will clear the dimensional barriers. Jessica, my smoke alarm is going off. She places crystals around my bed. These will help you access your true memories while you sleep. They're just making it hard to walk around in the dark. Starts making me do meditation exercises. Focus on the version of yourself that exists in the right timeline. Feel his presence, his confidence, his success. Jessica, I feel like I'm about to fall asleep. That's your consciousness trying to merge with your true self. Or maybe it's because you made me sit still for an hour. She gets her friends involved in this whole thing, brings me to some spiritual circle meeting. Bunch of women talking about their timeline displacement experiences. My soulmate is trapped in a dimension where he's married to someone else. I'm waiting for reality to shift so we can be together. They all nod like this makes perfect sense. One woman has been waiting 8 years for her timeline to correct. But I can feel him getting closer across the dimensional barriers. Lady, he probably just blocked your number. Jessica introduces me as her interdimensional soulmate. He's slowly awakening to his true identity. They all stare at me expectantly. So, Anon, what timeline memories have you recovered so far? None, because this is insane. Jessica jumps in. He's still processing the dimensional adjustment, but I can see his true self emerging more each day. No, you can't, Jessica, because I'm the same person I was yesterday. After the meeting, she's more convinced than ever. Did you feel the energy in that room, Anon? Everyone could sense our cosmic connection. Everyone could sense that you're delusional, Jessica. She starts planning our future life in the correct timeline. When we shift realities, we're going to travel the world together. You'll be the successful entrepreneur and I'll be a spiritual healer. We'll live in different countries and experience all dimensions of love. Sounds expensive, Jessica. How are we paying for this? Money won't matter in the corrected timeline, Anon. We'll manifest abundance through our spiritual connection. So we're going to be broke hippies. Got it. She starts getting frustrated that the timeline isn't shifting fast enough. Maybe you're blocking the transition with your skepticism. You need to fully believe in our destined connection. Jessica, maybe the timeline is fine and you're just unrealistic. Don't you want to be with the love of your life, Anon? I want to be with someone who lives in the same reality as me. Reality is subjective, Anon. Consciousness creates experience. Consciousness also creates delusions, Jessica. She starts doing more extreme rituals, tries to get me to do ayahuasca with her shaman friend. It will show you visions of our true timeline, Jessica. I don't want to trip balls with your weird spiritual dealer. His name is Moonbeam and he's a certified dimensional guide. His real name is probably Steve and he sells drugs. She starts getting angry that I'm not awakening fast enough. You're supposed to remember our past lives together by now. Maybe your soul is damaged from this timeline's negative energy. Or maybe we just met on a dating app 3 months ago like normal people. Brings me to some crystal healer to repair my dimensional awareness. Lady waves rocks over my body for $200. I sense blockages in his timeline receptivity centers. I sense bullshit in my wallet emptying centers. Jessica pays for the session. She says you need at least 6 more treatments. Jessica, this is getting expensive and weird. You can't put a price on our eternal soul connection, Anon. I can put a price on rent though, and it's due next week. She starts comparing me to the timeline version, constantly real timeline, you would never worry about money. Real timeline, you would be more supportive of my spiritual growth. Real timeline, you would understand the cosmic significance of our love. Real timeline, me probably would have run by now. She makes a timeline vision board for both of us. Pictures of me with different hair, clothes, car, job. This is who you're becoming, Anon. Jessica, this looks like a completely different person. It's your highest self emerging from dimensional suppression. My highest self apparently drives a Tesla and has abs. She starts dressing me differently. These clothes are more aligned with your true timeline energy. Jessica, this shirt costs $150 and looks like a tablecloth. Material concerns are low vibrational, Anon. Being broke is pretty low vibrational too, Jessica. She tries to change my entire lifestyle. You should quit your job and focus on spiritual development. Money will manifest once you're aligned with your true purpose. My true purpose is paying my bills, Jessica. Bills are just 3D reality constructs, Anon. 3D reality constructs that will get me evicted. She starts getting jealous of my regular life. Your coworkers are keeping you trapped in this false timeline. You spend too much time with people who don't understand our connection. They understand that you're crazy, Jessica. Brings me to meet her psychic for a couples reading. Woman charges us $300 to tell us what Jessica wants to hear. I see you two together in a beautiful alternate reality. But there are forces in this dimension working against your union. What kind of forces? Societal programming, family interference, and timeline static, also known as common sense. Psychic tells us we need to do a $1,000 ritual to clear the pathway. This will accelerate your timeline merger by several months. Jessica is ready to pay immediately. I drag her out of there. Anon, you're sabotaging our destiny. I'm sabotaging your bank account, Jessica. She starts acting like I'm the problem. Maybe you're not ready for this level of spiritual connection. Most people can't handle interdimensional soulmate relationships. Most people can't handle delusional relationships, Jessica. She gives me an ultimatum. Either you commit fully to our timeline journey, or we take a break. I can't be with someone who's fighting their true self, Jessica. I think you should take that break. She breaks down crying. But we're soulmates, Anon. We're meant to be together across all realities. I've seen our future in meditation. We're so happy. You've seen your fantasy in meditation, Jessica. Fine, but when the timeline shifts and you remember everything, don't come crawling back to me. I'll try to contain myself, Jessica. She takes all her crystals back from my apartment. These are too powerful for someone with blocked dimensional awareness. Thanks, Jessica. Now I can walk to my bathroom without breaking my toe. Month later, she's dating some guy named Chad. Posts on Instagram about their instant soul recognition. Sometimes you meet someone and immediately know you've loved them before. Thought I was your interdimensional soulmate, Jessica. Apparently, Chad is more aligned with her current timeline needs, while I wait for my true soulmate to awaken spiritually. So I'm her backup soulmate now. Sweet. She keeps posting about timeline shifts and soul connections. Every new guy she dates is apparently from a different dimension. Met my twin flame from the Atlantis timeline. Connected with my karmic partner from ancient Egypt. Dating my interdimensional twin from the 5th dimension. Jessica's collecting soulmates like Pokemon cards. My buddy Mike runs into her at a coffee shop. She tells him I'm still her primary soul connection. But he needs more lifetimes to evolve spiritually. I'm helping other souls awaken while I wait. Helping them awaken to the fact that they're dating a crazy person. 6 months later, she texts me. Anon, I had a vision that our timeline is about to shift. Are you ready to embrace your true self and be with me? Jessica, I'm dating someone normal now. She's just a placeholder until you remember our real love. Nobody can replace a genuine soul connection. You replaced me with 4 different guys, Jessica. Those were just learning experiences to prepare me for our reunion. Sure, Jessica, very spiritual of you. She shows up at my work uninvited. I need to tell you something important about our timeline. Jessica, you can't just show up at my job. The universe guided me here, Anon. The universe also guides restraining orders, Jessica. She tries to give me some crystals. These will help you access memories from when we were together in Lemuria. We were never together in Lemuria because it doesn't exist, Jessica. That's exactly what someone with timeline amnesia would say. My coworkers are staring. Hi, everyone. I'm Anon's interdimensional soulmate. Security escort her out. She posts about it online. Tried to help my soulmate remember our cosmic connection today. But this timeline's corporate energy is too dense, sending him light and love until he awakens. Year later, she's in a relationship with some spiritual guru guy, posts constantly about their ascended love connection. Finally found someone who understands multidimensional romance. We're helping each other evolve beyond earthly limitations. Guy looks like he hasn't showered in weeks, but apparently he's beyond material concerns like hygiene. She still occasionally posts subliminal messages about me. Some souls aren't ready for the intensity of true cosmic love. I honor the divine timing of everyone's spiritual journey. My first interdimensional soulmate is still growing in another timeline. Jessica, I think you're the one growing in another timeline. Buddy Dave sees her at a farmer's market. She's selling homemade crystals now. Infused with interdimensional love energy from my soulmate connections. $20 for a rock with glitter on it. Business must be booming, Jessica. She tells Dave I was her greatest love across all timelines. But he chose this dimension's illusions over our eternal bond. I chose sanity over your delusions, Jessica. He'll understand everything when he reaches higher consciousness. I understand everything. Perfectly right now, Jessica. 2 years later, I'm engaged to Sarah. Normal girl, works in accounting. Doesn't believe in parallel universes. Jessica somehow finds out and texts me. Congratulations on your 3D reality marriage. Thanks, Jessica. It's very three-dimensional. But remember, our souls are still connected beyond time and space. When you're ready for real love, I'll be waiting in the 5th dimension. I'll make sure to pack a sweater, Jessica. She posts a long Instagram story about watching your soulmate marry someone else. Sometimes love means letting go in this lifetime. But soul connections transcend all earthly bonds. I know we'll be together when the timelines align. Jessica posted this while dating her crystal guru boyfriend. The cognitive dissonance is strong with this one. My wedding comes and goes without any interdimensional incidents. Jessica posts a cryptic message that day. Sending love and light to all souls making karmic choices today. Very subtle, Jessica. Year later, she breaks up with Crystal Guru. He wasn't ready for the depth of our soul connection. Translation, he probably got tired of her timeline theories too. Starts posting about divine feminine awakening. Learning to love myself while waiting for my twin flame to ascend. Good luck with that, Jessica. 3 years later, she's dating some guy who thinks he's a vampire. Posts about their dark timeline romance. Finally found someone who understands supernatural love connections. At least she's consistent in her crazy taste in men. Sarah and I have been married 2 years now. Normal relationship, normal problems, normal solutions. No crystals, no timelines, no interdimensional drama. Sometimes I wonder what Jessica's up to. Then I remember I don't care. She taught me that when someone says you're their soulmate, but only in a different timeline. What they really mean is, you're not good enough for them in this one. But they want to keep you as a backup option, in case their fantasy doesn't work out. Spoiler alert, Jessica, your fantasy never works out, because it's a fantasy, built on delusion and main character syndrome. Real love happens in real time, with real people, in the real world, not across imaginary timelines, with imaginary versions of people. But hey, Jessica, maybe in another timeline. You're actually sane. Probably not, though.
Damn, this story is wild. Anon actually handled this pretty well by dumping Jessica the moment she gave him that timeline ultimatum. But Jessica is a complete nut job for thinking she can collect interdimensional boyfriends like Pokemon cards.
Be me. 29-year-old married to Rachel for 2 years. She's 27. Works at an accounting firm. Usually pretty reasonable. Until last Tuesday when everything went to hell. Rachel comes home from work looking stressed as hell. Honey, we need to talk about something serious. Oh boy, here we go. She sits me down with that look women get. You know, the one like they're about to ask you to hide a body. I may have made a tiny mistake at work today. How tiny are we talking, Rachel? Well, you know how I handle the Peterson account. Yeah, the big client that pays like half your salary. I accidentally transferred $50,000 to the wrong account. Rachel, what the actual hell? But here's the thing. If they find out it was me, I could go to jail. This is not sounding like a tiny mistake, Rachel. So I told them it was a system error caused by remote access. Okay, that's not too bad. IT stuff happens. From our home computer. Rachel, where's this going? I told them my husband was using the work system to play games and accidentally corrupted the transfer protocols. Rachel, I don't even know what transfer protocols are. That's perfect, honey. You can just say you were confused. Confused about committing financial fraud, Rachel. It's not fraud if it was an accident. And technically you would have accidentally done it. That's not how accidents work, Rachel. She pulls out her phone and shows me the email she sent. My husband was remotely accessing the system for gaming purposes. This appears to have caused a corruption in the Peterson transfer. We take full responsibility for this technical oversight. Rachel, you threw me under the bus harder than Mufasa. Don't be dramatic, honey. It's just a little white lie. White lies don't involve $50,000, Rachel. The money will be recovered, no harm done. You just need to go in tomorrow and confirm the story. What exactly am I supposed to confirm? That you were using my work computer to play video games, and you accidentally messed up some financial software. Rachel, I work in construction. I don't even know how to use Excel. That makes it more believable, honey. Just say you were trying to install Steam or something. This is insane, Rachel. If you really love me, you'd take the blame for this. Oh, she's playing the love card now. Marriage is about supporting each other through mistakes. Supporting mistakes, not taking the fall for embezzlement. It's not embezzlement if we give the money back. That's exactly what embezzlement is, Rachel. She starts crying. I could lose my job, my license, everything. Please, honey, I'm begging you. The tears are flowing like Niagara Falls now. I'm starting to feel bad until my brother Tommy calls. Perfect timing as always. Yo, bro, what's up? You sound stressed. I explain the whole situation. Tommy starts laughing his ass off. Dude, your wife wants you to take the blame for stealing 50 grand. When you put it like that, it sounds really bad. Bro, she's asking you to be the fall guy in her embezzlement scheme. This is like Goodfellas, but with spreadsheets. Tommy's not helping the situation. Rachel grabs the phone. Tommy, this is serious. I need your brother's support. Rachel, you need a lawyer, not a patsy. Your husband isn't Scarface. He can't just take the heat. Tommy, why are you making movie references right now? Because your wife is living in a fantasy where crimes don't have consequences. Rachel hangs up on him. Your brother doesn't understand our relationship. This is between you and me, honey. Rachel, this is between you and the FBI. She shows me articles about white-collar crime. Look, most people just get probation for first-time offenses. And since you don't actually work in finance, they'd be lenient. Rachel, are you seriously researching my potential prison sentence? I'm being thorough, honey. That's why you married me. I married you because you were sane, Rachel. Next day, she's got our whole story planned out. You were bored at home and decided to try my work computer. You downloaded some game that had malware. The malware corrupted the banking software during a transfer. Rachel, this sounds like a bad episode of CSI Cyber. It's believable, honey. People download malware all the time. People also go to prison all the time, Rachel. She's packed me a lunch for my confession day. I made your favorite sandwich for courage. You made me a sandwich to go confess to financial crimes. Think of it as method acting, honey. Like how Christian Bale transforms for roles. Rachel, I'm not preparing for an Oscar, I'm preparing for handcuffs. We get to her office building. Fancy place with marble floors and everything. Remember, honey, you were just trying to play games. You had no idea it would affect the financial systems. Rachel, what if they ask technical questions? Just say you don't understand computers very well, which is true but not helpful right now. We meet with her boss, Mr. Henderson. Nice older guy, looks like someone's dad. So you're the husband who caused our technical difficulties. Yes, sir, I'm apparently a cyber criminal now. Rachel kicks me under the table. He's very sorry about the confusion, Mr. Henderson. He just wanted to play some games while I was at work. Henderson nods sympathetically. I understand. My son does the same thing. These gaming downloads can be quite dangerous. Wait, he's actually buying this. What type of game were you trying to install? Steam, sir. Ah, yes, Steam, very popular platform. Did you download any additional modifications? I look at Rachel desperately. She's nodding like a crazy person. Yes, sir, lots of modifications. That explains the system corruption. Gaming mods are notorious for containing malware. Henderson seems satisfied with this explanation. Well, the important thing is we've recovered the funds, and we'll be implementing better security protocols. Wait, that's it? No police? No prison? Just promise me you'll be more careful with downloads. Absolutely, sir. I'll stick to solitaire. He actually laughs at that. My wife says the same thing about my computer habits. We leave the building and Rachel is ecstatic. See, honey, that wasn't so bad. Rachel, I just lied to your boss about committing computer crimes. But it worked perfectly and everyone's happy. Everyone except my conscience, Rachel. Tommy calls later that day. Bro, please tell me you didn't actually do it. I did it, Tommy. I'm officially a financial cyber criminal. Dude, you're like the worst criminal ever. You confessed to a crime you didn't commit to cover for a crime your wife did commit. When you explain it like that, it sounds really stupid. It is really stupid, bro. Your wife basically made you her accomplice after the fact. Rachel overhears and grabs the phone again. Tommy, mind your own business. My business is keeping my brother out of federal prison, which apparently is harder than it should be. Tommy's roasting her harder than a Thanksgiving turkey. Rachel, you turned your husband into an unwilling accessory. That's not love, that's manipulation. Rachel hangs up again. Your brother watches too many crime shows. Tommy watches the news, Rachel. There's a difference. Week goes by and everything seems fine. Rachel's back to normal at work. Henderson even compliments her on handling the crisis. Your husband took responsibility like a real man. If only he knew Rachel. Then Rachel starts acting weird, more emotional than usual, crying at random stuff. Honey, this commercial about puppies is so sad. Rachel, it's a commercial for dog food. She's also been really tired lately, sleeping until noon on weekends. I think I'm coming down with something. Maybe guilt-induced flu, Rachel. She's been eating weird combinations of food. Pickles with ice cream at 2 a.m. Don't judge my choices, honey. I'm not judging, I'm concerned about your mental state. Tommy comes over for dinner and notices immediately. Rachel, you look different. Is this what guilt looks like? She throws a dinner roll at him. I'm just tired from work stress. Some of us have demanding careers. Tommy dodges the roll like he's in the Matrix. Some of us don't frame our spouses for embezzlement. Rachel launches into full attack mode. Tommy, you need to stop interfering in our marriage. I handled a difficult situation the best way I could, and my husband supported me like a good partner should. Tommy's not backing down. Rachel, you literally made him confess to a felony. That's not partnership, that's coercion. You're like the worst version of Bonnie and Clyde. Why is everything a movie reference with Tommy? At least Bonnie and Clyde were both actual criminals. You're just dragging an innocent man into your mess. Rachel storms out of the room crying. I follow her to make sure she's okay. Find her in the bathroom throwing up. Rachel, are you sick? I think it might be food. Poisoning. You didn't eat anything different than us. She throws up again. Maybe it's stress from Tommy's constant criticism. Or maybe it's karma, Rachel. I get her some water and help her to bed. She's been throwing up every morning for a week. Honey, I think you should see a doctor. It's probably just a stomach bug. Stomach bugs don't last this long, Rachel. Finally convince her to go to urgent care. Doctor runs some tests. We're sitting in the waiting room. What if something's seriously wrong? Rachel, you're probably just stressed from your life of crime. Don't joke about that here. What if they somehow know about the work thing? Rachel, doctors can't detect embezzlement through blood tests. Doctor comes back with results. Well, Mrs. Rachel, I have some interesting news. Here we go. Probably liver damage from stress. You're pregnant. What? Rachel's face goes completely white. I'm sorry, what did you say? You're about 6 weeks pregnant. Congratulations. Holy shit, Rachel, we're having a baby. She starts crying again, but happy tears this time. Honey, we're going to be parents. I'm so shocked I can barely process it. This explains the nausea and mood changes, and the strange food cravings. Everything suddenly makes sense. We drive home in complete silence, both trying to process this massive news. Honey, are you happy about this? Rachel, I'm terrified, but in a good way. Me too, I had no idea. I thought I was just stressed from work. Well, you were stressed from committing financial fraud. Don't remind me, I feel terrible about that now. Especially dragging you into it. Finally, some accountability, Rachel. I was just so scared of losing everything. But now we have everything to gain. We get home and she immediately calls her mom. Mom, you're going to be a grandmother. I can hear her screaming through the phone. Happy screaming, though. Rachel's mom starts crying tears of joy. I'm so happy for you both. This baby is going to be so loved. I call Tommy to tell him the news. Dude, that's amazing. Congratulations. But please tell me you're not naming the kid after a financial crime. Tommy, what the hell is wrong with you? Just making sure, bro, your wife has interesting priorities. Speaking of which, does this mean she's done with her life of white-collar crime? I think becoming a mom will straighten her out, Tommy. Babies have a way of putting things in perspective. Rachel overhears my conversation. Tell Tommy I'm sorry for everything, and thank you for looking out for your brother. Tommy's shocked into silence. Did Rachel just apologize and thank me? Pregnancy hormones are amazing. We spend the evening planning for the baby, talking about names, nursery themes, future plans. Honey, I want to be the best mother possible, which means no more sketchy situations at work. I'm glad to hear you say that, Rachel. I realized today that I could have lost everything. My job, my husband, my freedom. And now we have this beautiful blessing. She's rubbing her stomach, even though there's nothing to see yet. I want our child to be proud of both their parents, not ashamed of their mother's poor choices. This is the most mature I've ever seen Rachel. So no more asking you to take the blame for my mistakes. From now on, I handle my own problems, like an actual adult Rachel. Like an actual adult Honey. Tommy comes over the next day with baby gifts. I bought these before I knew the gender, so they're very gender neutral. It's a tiny onesie that says Uncle's favorite. Rachel starts crying happy tears again. Tommy, that's so sweet. I'm sorry I was such a psycho before. Pregnancy brain is real. Tommy hugs her. Just promise me no more financial crimes. I don't want to visit my nephew in prison. Rachel laughs. I promise, completely legitimate from now on. Scout's honor. You were never a scout, Rachel. Well, I am now a baby scout. That's not a thing, but okay. A month later, Rachel gets a promotion at work. They said I handled the Peterson crisis with professionalism. The irony is killing me, Rachel. I know, but I'm turning over a new leaf. No more shortcuts or shady solutions. Everything by the book from now on. She's actually sticking to her word, working late to fix problems properly, asking for help instead of covering things up. I want to set a good example for our baby, even before they're born. Tommy brings over more baby stuff every week. I'm going to spoil this kid rotten. They're going to think Uncle Tommy is the coolest. What about Dad Tommy? Dad's the guy who confessed to financial crimes for Mom. Uncle's the guy who brings awesome presents. Fair point, Tommy. Rachel's showing now at 4 months. Honey, feel this. The baby's kicking. I put my hand on her belly. Tiny little movements like butterfly wings. That's our baby in there. Our perfect little angel. Hopefully with your mom's brains and my moral compass. Hey, I have morals now. Pregnancy gave me ethics. That's not how ethics work, Rachel. Well, however it works, I'm a better person now. And I'm going to be an amazing mom. I know you are, Rachel. And you're going to be an incredible dad, even if you are a terrible financial criminal. Rachel, we agreed never to speak of that again. Right, sorry, pregnancy brain. I meant even if you're terrible at installing video games. Much better cover story. Tommy's over helping set up the nursery. So have you two decided on names yet? We're still debating. Please tell me you're not considering anything crime-related. Tommy, why would we name our baby after crimes? With you two, I never know. Like heist or embezzle or something. Rachel throws a pillow at him. We're thinking traditional names, Tommy. Like Michael or Sarah, or Tommy if it's a boy. Really, bro, you'd name him after me. Maybe you did try to keep me out of prison. That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. Don't let it go to your head. 6 months now, and Rachel's glowing. Honey, I've never been happier in my life. Even with all the crazy stuff that happened, I think it brought us closer together in the weirdest way possible, Rachel. And now we get to start this amazing new chapter as parents to the most loved baby in the world with the most interesting origin story. Our kid's gonna have great stories to tell about how mommy and daddy met and fell in love. What about the part where mommy made daddy confess to financial crimes? We'll save that story for when they're older, much older, like 30. Tommy overhears this conversation, or we could just never mention it and let the kid think their parents are normal. We are normal, Tommy, mostly. Normal people don't frame their spouses for embezzlement, but normal people do make mistakes and learn from them. Rachel's gotten really philosophical about the whole thing. Every mistake led us to this moment, to this baby, to this happiness. So maybe it all happened for a reason. That's a very optimistic way to look at fraud, Rachel. I prefer to think of it as creative problem solving. That got us into trouble in the first place. But it also got us here. And here is perfect. She's right though. Despite all the craziness, we're happy, really truly happy, and about to become parents to a baby who will hopefully inherit Rachel's intelligence and my ability to stay out of legal trouble. Honey, do you think our baby will be proud of us? I think our baby will love us no matter what, Rachel. Even if they find out about the work thing, especially if they find out about the work thing, because it shows that people can change and grow, and that love makes you do crazy things, like confessing to crimes you didn't commit. Exactly like that. Tommy walks in carrying more baby supplies. Are you two having another deep conversation about your life of crime? It wasn't a life of crime, Tommy. It was one incident. One incident too many, bro. But I'm glad it all worked out. Because this baby is going to be amazing. And you two are actually decent people. Most of the time. Thanks for the ringing endorsement, Tommy. Hey, I calls them like I sees them. And I see two people who learn from their mistakes and are about to become great parents. Rachel starts crying again. Damn pregnancy hormones. Tommy, that was beautiful. Don't make me emotional or I'll hug you. Tommy backs away slowly. Let's not get crazy, Rachel. Save the hormonal hugs for your husband. 9 months later, we're in the delivery room. Rachel's squeezing my hand so hard I think she broke bones. This is all your fault, honey. Technically, this is both our faults, Rachel. Don't get technical with me during the labor. Fair point, Rachel. Tommy's in the waiting room with both our families, probably telling everyone the embezzlement story. I'm gonna kill your brother after this. He's just excited to be an uncle, Rachel. He better not be telling my mother about the work thing. Your mother already knows, Rachel. You told her months ago. Right, pregnancy brain. Doctor says it's time to push. Rachel grips my hand even harder. If I die during this, tell our baby I love them. You're not gonna die, Rachel. And tell them their mother was a reformed financial criminal. Rachel, focus on the baby. And tell them Uncle Tommy was right about everything. Okay, now I know you're delirious. One final push and suddenly there's crying. But not Rachel's crying, baby crying. It's a boy. The doctor announces we have a son, Rachel. They place him on Rachel's chest. Tiny, perfect little human. Honey, he's beautiful. He looks just like you, hopefully with better decision-making skills. He's going to be perfect. Our little miracle baby. Tommy burst into the room despite hospital rules. Is that my nephew? He's gorgeous. And he looks like he has good judgment, unlike his parents. Hey, I heard that. Rachel's holding our son like he's made of glass. I can't believe he's really here. After everything we've been through, all the craziness was worth it for this moment. I love you, honey. And I love our perfect little family. I love you too, Rachel. Even if you did make me confess to financial crimes, especially because of that. Because it led us here. To this moment, this baby, this happiness. Tommy takes 1,000,000 pictures. This kid's gonna have the best photo album ever. Uncle Tommy's greatest hits. What about mom and dad's photos? You two can take normal, boring parent pictures. Uncle Tommy takes the fun adventure photos. Our son opens his eyes and looks right at us, like he already knows we're his crazy family, and he's okay with it. Welcome to the world, little guy. You've got quite a story ahead of you.